This week, we're in the world of Anna. We'll explore Anna's transformation through the space Pelageya Nilovna occupies in the book. Hello, and welcome to our Daily Books channel. I'm your host, Bookworm, and today we'll talk about an immortal work that has been adapted numerous times. We'll try to bring you to experience the era and atmosphere of the work. If you're ready, let's begin.
Absolutely ready. We're diving into Maxim Gorky's Mother, a really powerful piece. And I guess the first question is, why does a work like this, dealing with such intense revolutionary ideas, still feel so potent today? Why do adaptations often stir up so much controversy and stick with us? Is it just like a technical filmmaking thing, or does it genuinely capture the spirit of the original?
Oh, definitely the spirit.
That incredible, often painful transformation of Pelageya Nilovna, right?
Yeah.
From this fearful, almost invisible woman into someone who takes action. It's this quest for social justice that feels, well, timeless.
It really does. And I think to understand that transformation, you have to start where Gorky starts with the environment itself. I mean, the atmosphere he paints is just crushing.
Utterly oppressive.
Yeah, the whole setting is defined by industrial misery. That factory whistle isn't just a sound, it basically dominates their entire existence. People are described as scowling and unhappy, emerging from these awful shanty towns.
And it's more than just a grim backdrop, isn't it?
Mhm.
It feels like a system designed for misery. They're trudging through mud, literally sacrificing their youth and health inside those factory walls.
Day in, day out.
And their only release, it's either the tavern, which is just self-destruction, really,
Right.
or just sleeping, simply trying to forget the drudgery. Gorky points out this is inherited, too, a cycle passed down from their fathers.
And Vlasov Sr., Pelageya's husband, Pavel's father, he's like the embodiment of that factory oppression brought home.
Exactly. He's cruel, violent, takes all that rage from the factory and unleashes it on his wife. The factory creates the wound and he just spreads it.
Such a bleak picture. But that brutality, that cycle, kind of sets the stage for Pelageya's initial state, doesn't it?
It does. And the moment Pavel finally stands up to him, that's the break. That's the rupture needed for the story to even begin. When he shouts, "Take your hand away from now on, you won't take a penny from me or the boy." That's huge.
It really is. And after that, Vlasov Sr.'s spiteful silence for 2 years, then his death. It leaves Pelageya in this really strange place. Relief mixed with sadness.
Because her whole life was defined by avoiding conflict, by being, as Gorky puts it, blind, deaf, and spirit broken.
She literally didn't know how to live without that constant shadow of fear, which, perfectly sets up her son's journey and eventually hers.
And Pavel's change starts subtly, almost domestically. He begins his intellectual awakening, cleans his room, starts addressing his mother more formally as you. It signals a kind of distance, but also respect for his own developing self.
I find that fascinating how Gorky links that personal tidiness, that almost aesthetic quality, directly to the political discipline he develops.
Yeah, the room slowly fills with new works. That famous bookshelf appears. It's like clearing away the grime, the mental grime of the factory, before the ideology can take root.
And then he starts bringing these different courageous people home, like Andrei Nakotka, Nikolai Ivanovich.
And immediately the fear in the house it ramps up again, doesn't
No,
it?
absolutely. Pelageya is terrified at first. She keeps whispering, if they hear about this, they will crush you. She knows the power of the authorities.
She understands the stakes, but her own transformation, it really kicks off when Pavel, the new focus of her life, is threatened.
It's that protective maternal instinct, but it gets channeled into something completely new, revolutionary action. Pavel gets arrested during that first strike.
The one about the swamp, yeah, cutting wages to drain a swamp. The cynicism's just staggering.
Right. And suddenly, Pelageya has to act. Her first real act of courage is carrying that package, the revolutionary letter, into the city. It seems small, but for her, it's monumental.
And the description of her coming home, tired but happy. It's so important. That physical act connects her. She realizes her small contribution is part of something huge, something these young people have seized with endless enthusiasm.
She starts to shed the fear, not through books initially, but through doing, through action.
Exactly. She starts attending the secret meetings, listening to these discussions about workers all over the world, Italians, Germans. She's grasping the scale of it all.
And that leads to that incredibly poignant moment where she tries to learn to read with Andre, feeling that deep shame about her illiteracy, but just filled with this determination to understand.
Such a powerful scene. Now, her son, Pavel, he's a very different figure, isn't he? His defining trait is that unwavering resolve, that intense intellectual focus.
Yeah, people often debate him. Is he a full character or more of an ideological symbol for Gorky?
It's a fair question. You see the shift from his early, sort of sullen, quiet anger to the very clear, passionate speeches later on.
For like at the trial, that's his big stage, isn't it? It's less a legal defense, more
Oh,
political
it is.
theater.
Absolutely. He declares, "Here are no murderers or criminals, only oppressed and oppressors." He's reframing the whole conflict.
And his core message is about achieving true manhood, real human dignity. We came into this world not just to fill our bellies, we want to be men.
And this is where some critics talk about fragmentation. This absolute focus on social justice, on that ideal manhood, it seems to require sacrificing everything personal, almost becoming cold in his dedication to the collective cause.
He's the model revolutionary, perhaps, but maybe not fully rounded.
Perhaps he's disciplined, focused, almost austere.
So, thinking about Pavel, what do you, our listeners, think? Critics sometimes find him too rigid, maybe too much like a walking manifesto. How well does an actor's interpretation of that unwavering resolve usually match how you pictured Pavel Vlasov? Let us know in the comments.
It's a great question, because while Pavel is the ideological spearhead, his mother, Pelageya, she evolves into something else.
Yeah, she becomes the calm heart of the movement, doesn't she? The one who grounds it all. And she has this crucial realization that the intellectuals, like Nikolai Ivanovich, they have the theories, but they do not know the reality of the people as much as she does.
Ah, yes, that's a key point Gorky's making. That genuine revolutionary change has to be rooted in the lived experience, the
Mhm.
suffering of the working class itself, not just abstract ideas brought in by educated outsiders.
Exactly. Pelageya, because of her past, her fear, her toil, she becomes that vital bridge between the thinkers and the ordinary workers.
A necessary synthesis.
Okay, so let's shift a bit to adaptations. You often see Pavel's trial speech used as this big dramatic climax.
It's definitely theatrical.
But focusing too much on that, does it maybe risk losing something of the book's original feel? That pervasive melancholy, the grittiness of the factory, the constant low level tension of police spies?
I think it can, yeah. You potentially sacrifice that dense, tense atmosphere for a more straightforward, maybe even simplistic spectacle. The philosophical discussions in the book, they're much richer and more nuanced than just Pavel's big speech.
Right. The debates between Pavel, Andre, and especially Rybin,
Oh, Ryben. He's crucial. The peasant revolutionary.
he brings in that whole other dimension, the rural struggle, the attempt to bridge the gap between city workers and peasants. And that idea of global unity, the entire world belongs to the workers.
And Ryben also voices that deep suspicion of existing power structures, rejecting religion and politics as just tools the oppressors use to deceive people.
His story is so tragic, though. He represents that deep commitment escaping exile, risking everything to get literature to the villages.
And then that brutal ending for him, beaten and rearrested in the town square. It's Gorky showing the terrible cost, the reality of the fight. The fear still paralyzes the onlookers.
Which makes Pelageya Nilovna's final act even more astounding. After Pavel is sentenced to exile, she doesn't shrink back.
No, she steps right into the void.
Takes on that ultimate mission, distributing Pavel's trial speech, now basically a manifesto, on the train heading to Moscow.
And her strategy on the train, it shows just how far she's come. She uses her appearance, acts naturally, hides the leaflets, moves around. She's become this incredibly savvy operator.
Completely transformed from the woman we met at the beginning, the one who was blind and deaf with fear.
It's an amazing arc. And then the confrontation with the police agent, the same one who failed to catch Ryben, which is a nice touch.
She doesn't hide, she chooses confrontation.
Yeah, reveals the leaflets, shouts her truth to everyone there. I am Pavel Vlasov's mother. These papers contain the truth. We all know poverty and hunger and disease. She becomes the voice of the voiceless in that moment.
Embracing martyrdom, really.
It's a total moral victory, even as she's being physically beaten down. Her last words are pure defiance. The people spit on you. You are wretched. Just devastating and powerful.
He truly is.
And this brings us back to that core tension, maybe the central question, that revolutionary banner, Pavel's speech she carries. Does it only mean what it seems to mean on the surface, a political manifesto?
Or something deeper.
Exactly. Or does it represent a more universal concept? Maybe that idea of eternal, selfless sacrifice for a greater good, for human dignity itself. And, the really provocative question that lingers for me is, if Pavel Vlasov had actually achieved his goal, that total social justice he envisioned, would he personally have ever been truly happy?
That's a heavy question. It really makes you think about the cost, doesn't it? But ultimately, the power of Mother, I think, rests so much on Pelageya Nilovna, her incredible capacity for change, her resilience. She shows how real, lived compassion can give meaning to those big revolutionary ideas.
She makes them human.
Precisely. This week, we were in the world of Anna, enduring, revolutionary, and heartbreaking. As we set sail for a new work next week, I look forward to your comments. Farewell for now. I'm your host, Kitab Kurdu. Continue reading and questioning on Daily Books.